So to install the new software, we need to start with loading it onto a thumb drive. So we install the thumb drive into the computer. We go to our thumb drive now, we right click on it. We hit format. It's a FAT32, the default. We hit start. This will erase all data on the disk, and that is fine. We're gonna hit OK. And this formats across, format's complete. We hit OK. Now we X out of there. Then we go to support.mysukup.com. We click on grain dryers. And then you click on whatever dryer you want to click on. Whether we click on a mixed flow dryer or a tower dryer or a single plenum, it doesn't matter because we're going to go to software over here on the left. We have software, Quadratouch Pro 4.0 is what we want. So we click on 4.0. That brings us to here, software version 4.0. So we click on that and then we come to here. Here we show the Quadratouch Pro update instructions, the Quadratouch Pro 4.0 official release zip, and the YouTube video to understand how to accomplish this. Sukup has a YouTube video on this on how to do it. If you just click on here, click here to download. Window pops up on where you're going to download your software, and you choose where you're going to send it, and you hit save. And I already have the software, so it asked me if I want to replace it. I hit no. Normally you would hit yes. It would download there. So then we go in here to where the software is. We left click. We hit extract all. We hit browse. We go down here. We select the USB stick we want to load it on. Hit select folder. It shows in here D. We hit extract. And that will load it onto the USB drive. Now that's complete. Shows we have that file on the USB. So we right click on the USB, hit eject. Over here it says safe to remove hardware. Now we unplug our USB and we are ready to go program the Quadratouch Pro to 4.0 software. Gonna install some 4.0 software in a dryer that has 3.02 software. So from start to finish, just gonna show the walkthrough and making sure all the settings are the way they should be. We're gonna go to tools. We're gonna update tools menu. We're gonna go to Quadratouch update. We're gonna hit touch panel, step 1. We're gonna update the touch panel. File transfer in progress. Sometimes when you hit that button, it does not go to file transfer in progress. It'll go to no file found and you have to try again. Have patience with it. Computers don't always move quite as fast as we think. If you notice, the writing isn't centered on the screen. So it's not done powering up yet. We got to give it some time. Now it says set default successful. Hit continue. Now we're going to hit next. And it's going to pop up with dryer restart required. So we're going to hit that. That's going to cause it to restart the dryer. We didn't get that there. Now it'll go through a restart. There, now it's powered back on. But if you see, we're not centered on the screen. So we just need to have patience. There. Now we found the dryer. It's saying analog sensor not found because our moisture sensor is in here yet. There's a new dryer. So we're not going to worry about that fault. So we're going to hit next. Now we're going to let it go through its reset. See, we don't have the red writing come up here on the restart required because we're running on the new software. We still show the PLC version at a 3.02. We don't have a dryer model here. You can't run it without a dryer model. This is the most advanced dryer control on knowing what dryer it's running, specifically the model and every component of the dryer. This is the smartest software on the market as far as the way it watches every little detail. And they know what you say. Data is what's important. The future is in data. And this controller got data. Hit dryer model. Setting defaults was successful. We got a mixed flow dryer today. It is a model 2024. It's a vacuum cool and a model 2024. It is a 16-foot dryer. Need to look, I think it's a 6 tier. Yes, 6 tier dryer. So we're going to select 6 tiers. Is drag conveyor unload. You should never get a mixed flow dryer that doesn't have a drag conveyor unload. Our static sampler is a 4x4. We have soft start. And I believe 4-tier expandable, but we need to go check. Yes, it's soft start. Soft start and 4-tier expandability. We have the gravity load. Okay, this is all our details. So we go in here and it sets the model of the dryer. So now, right here, we'll disable that. Right here we have the model of the dryer. If we hit dryer model, it brings up all this information. It tells us full heat, no. Heat cool, yes. Vacuum cool, yes. Expandable 4 tiers, length 16-foot plenum. Total bushels capacity, unload rate, max unload rate, maximum BTUs, total horsepower. Okay, look at that. It automatically said, we have an issue. We need to update the PLC. So we're going to do that. We're going to look here. I believe, okay, we have a few things we need to verify here. ILC number, which is up here in the left corner of the PLC. How many green slices? Right here. So we're going to go out to the dryer and see what we got. We have the 151 ILC and we have 3 green slices. So we have 3 green slices here. The ILC 151. And now we hit Update PLC. Now, feel free to read the writing on the screen while it's working. If you read the writing, you'll have something to do while it works and you'll understand what's going on. Okay, I've sent the start command. Now we wait. We'll see if the PLC restarts in 30 seconds. It's attempting to restart the PLC. PLC successfully restarted, which means we're talking to it again. Now, PLC is currently matching software version of the HMI. Click Next. So don't ever do this when you're in a hurry. Because if you're in a hurry, then there's too much room for mistakes. So if we go in here and we go to settings, we're going to go through some settings in here. We're going to make the admin settings visible. We're going to disable that again. Unload settings, fill timer. He's going to be flood filling this dryer. So when he's unloading a truck, it's going to be filling the dryer and flooding over into the wet bin. So we're going to shut that off. Auto wet grain timer, that's like we want it. Fill switch delay, accept, proceed. Fill switch delay on 5, it's good. So when you go into the fill switch delay, don't be messing with this if you don't understand what it does. Because this can cause your fill auger to run longer and it could cause problems. You could break things if you don't understand what you're doing here. Auxiliary 1, on delay is 5 seconds, off delay is 0 seconds. So we're going to make the off delay. We need to go 36. So 300 seconds is 5 minutes. So 3,000 is 50 minutes. So 15 minutes is 900 seconds. So we want the off delay on 900 seconds on auxiliary 1, because auxiliary 1 is going to run our wet elevator. So we're going to have a 900 second delay, so it keeps running for 900 seconds, which means so long as the dryer calls for grain every 15 minutes, we have the wet elevator will continue running to fill the dryer. Now auxiliary 2 is going to be running the conveyor that goes from the wet bin to the wet elevator. So this here, we're going to have shut off after 5 seconds. So what we want is we want to make sure the top of the dryer is full and we want to fill the pipe up some. But we don't want to run it too long. But this elevator is set up with an overflow valve. So any excess corn we get in that elevator will flow back into the wet bin. So we're not going to break anything here. If we had an auger going from the wet bin to the dryer and we put this like this, we would break things. But there's no other dryer system on the market that exceeds this dryer on these options. So we have a load delay here. And we're gonna set this load delay for 45 seconds. So it waits 45 seconds after it calls for grain before it starts the load system. And then when the off delay, like that there, we want on 0. Our other auxiliary timers are going to take care of making the changes that we want. Fill switch delay. Now we want to let that go. There. Now, fan heat settings. We go in here, our low temp option. Want to make sure that's on. Our min and max limits, 140 and 220. I'm going to make that 90 and 220. That way if he goes to run wheat or anything, he never runs into an issue. Actually, right there, we can turn them on also. That's handy. Plenum out of range shutdown, we're going to turn that on. 15 minutes, 15 degrees. That you want on. They have a high temp option to go to 240 degrees. Don't do that. Okay, that should be all set. Fan shutdown timer, we're going to put 3 minutes in there. That way it cools off the plenum some if the dryer shuts down. Unload settings. We have a metering unload auger metering roll proc switch here that we can shut that switch off if we are having some issues. It's like a bypass. Metering roll delay timer, we can adjust that. Unload delay timers. So here we go into loop. So on this little 1606, I'm going to put in a 60 gain. I'm going to put in a 200 on the reset rate, a 200 on the derivative rate. I'm going to put a 0 lag. I'm going to put a 3 in my rate of change. That should work pretty good. And from there, we'll pretty much just adjust this number if we need to make changes. We have the gain in here. We're not met. That's the same as we had in that other page. Speed limits for unload speed limits. Shouldn't have to mess with them. Back out. We go to grain settings. Grain selections corn. Static sampler. Output moisture alarm. If you want to set an alarm for if we get off of the moisture set point. We have the input sensor type. They used to have another input sensor. We have the input grain temperature. So you must have set that. That's nothing we need to know. Oh, sample time, minutes in the static sampler. Always do 2 minutes. Always do 2 minutes. I get my best results on 2 minutes. I just think it works better than 1 minute. 3 minutes is too slow. So that's 10 minutes of discharge samples averaged to give you your front screen number. Your static sampler proximity switch fault override, so we can shut off the static sampler fault so I don't have to jump them anymore. So that's done with the settings. Now we go into tools. Connectivity tools, we go in here and we go network repair utility. Initial configuration wizard. I accept. Ready next step. Ready next step. Ready, next step. I go through all these on initial startup on a dryer. This isn't something you should be doing every year. It's just on initial startup or it's software update. Initial configuration complete, reset. So I hit set up internet, not because I'm going to set up internet, but just because I want to see my metrics. Go to network adapter settings. I just want to see that, see what it looks like. So here, there's a dryer connection, and this could be a problem, especially if someone would hook internet to this thing down the road. So internet DNS test result, my Sukup, they aren't green. And that's all right because we don't have internet hooked to it, so they're not going to be green. But right here, we have a metric of 35 on the dryer connection. That is wrong. It's red. So we just tap that. And now it's going to fix that on its own. It's a very advanced software. There, if you notice, it changed that to a 2, which is what it's supposed to be. Now, if we go to network adapter 1, that shows red, but this is supposed to be 35 on your computer. Here we have a 2. That's on your dryer connection. Everything's green. That is good. Now we're going to hit reset. Going through all of these steps, you don't have to do this on your dryer, but what happens is you save yourself headaches down the road. So update tools menu, Windows Update, disable Windows Update. Now I disable that because I've had too many customers get a blue screen of death on their computer. Now I've been told that if you always shut your screen down by hitting shutdown Quadratouch Pro, then you won't have issues with that update stuff, the Windows updates. But it's just simplest to turn the Windows updates off. So now you see Windows Update disabled. We have everything is up to date. Moisture version, it's an official release. Connectivity tools. Okay, we got everything up to date in here. Remote access is the only thing here that's not on. On a normal, the only thing that's not on. If you were connecting internet, you'd have to turn that on. Say you accept. That's where you would go into your remote access. And air system controls. We'd go in here if we are running the air system. Shutdown tools, we have all different shutdown tools. The plan out of range is on, which is good. And yeah, you can look through that stuff. Okay, that is pretty much everything. So now this dryer is ready to run. But since we're not ready to run grain today, as it's only the 8th of August, we're gonna turn it off. And when you turn these off, you hit shutdown Quadratouch Pro, asks you yes, shut down or no, and you hit yes. And you let it power off. When you come back and want to turn it on, You just flip this switch off and back on and it'll power up. So that's what I do when I update the software on the Quadratouch Pro to 4.0.